Hi there. Good morning. Welcome to Rich Haven Life. My name is Ian, and I'm on my way to the greenhouses. This past week, there was a lot of work done in and around the greenhouses. It all started with hey, let's just take down these fans in the citrus greenhouse, and one thing led to another, and a whole lot of other great work was done. Looking forward to sharing the progress with you this morning. Okay, so to kick things off, there's this area around the container, and it may not look like it because there's still quite a bit of stuff still here, but this is actually a lot more organized. You can actually walk behind the container here. This area of the forest was thinned out and cleared a bit. So that kind of opens up the view of this nice little grove of madrone trees. And so just being able to kind of have a lot of this stuff organized and consolidated is pretty nice. This area here is a soil that we've been using to raise up the soil level in some of the raised beds that I'll show. This was just mounds of dumped potting soil. And you can see it here. Just a whole lot of soil that could be used, but was just tossed aside by the previous people that had the property, and they probably just used a fresh batch of soil every year. So this was just kind of a waste, but putting it back to use. And the first little bit is may not look organized, but a lot of this is in the process of getting consolidated. These are all drip irrigation lines, and this is in process of being more organized. But this space here, where you can see the footprint in the ground, where there's no grass or clover growing. This is where I had 6 smart pots, 3 with horseradish and 3 with sunchokes, and those have been moved. So now there's not this kind of like awkward set of pots outside the greenhouses. Now everything has been moved inside, which is pretty nice. Consolidation when managing an operation this large is pretty darn helpful. All right, so in the nursery greenhouse now, and the main event really happened with this raised bed on the south side. This was a jumbled mess of potted plants, uneven soil levels, and just a whole lot of cleanup that needed to be done. And so a lot of that was taken care of. So the soil level is not quite at the level that I like. So the soil that I was just pointing out by the container will be used to kind of raise this up a bit more before we finish it off by putting the irrigation lines back in and then adding a nice layer of mulch. The intent for this raised bed is to have a lot more asparagus. So I ordered a bunch of asparagus plants that'll be here in the spring. And so the idea is that these will kind of fill this space. And asparagus take a few years to really get established. So that'll be a couple of years waiting. And I left in place the 2 volunteer snap peas that came up so beautifully. So it was nice to be able to preserve those with all this cleanup work that had been done. You can see it's very close to outgrowing this trellis that I put up. So I'll need to figure out a longer term solution for that. And in terms of on the soil on the top here, this is mostly asmonite that you're seeing that was sprinkled around. Really like using asmonite as a soil amendment. So this is the wall of snapdragons that I cut back. Lost a lot of color, but that's okay. It's gonna come back and be just beautiful. And another volunteer sugar snap pea. Look at that. So, okay, so counting that one, the two that are over there, and some other ones that I've shared in previous videos. There's one that's coming up at the base of that trellis that I put it next to it, and then there's a very small one coming up from the Smart Pot, and then another sugar snap pea over there. And there's the one I pointed out in a previous video that's growing out of the floorboards of the VW Bug, and then a couple others that are growing by the container. So haven't needed to plant any snap peas yet, and that's great because I've had really hard times with the germination of those in the past. So kind of yeah, nice to see it just letting it do its thing and able to get some snap peas. All right, so moving on to the tomato greenhouse. And in terms of cleanup work, so similar to what was in the nursery greenhouse on the south side bed, this north side bed is now all cleaned up. This is where I've been battling the perennials for quite some time, and so did a lot of cleanup work to get out the last of the perennials, so lavender, mint, lemon balm, yarrow. There was a butterfly bush at the end that was taken out. And so, yeah, kind of really cleaning up this space, adding a whole lot of soil amendments, bone meal, asmonite, ash, and a few other things before laying the drip lines and covering everything in a nice layer of alfalfa mulch. So this marigold is very much in the way of what I'd like to do with this space. I got a few ideas, but I want to keep this in the ground just a little bit longer. Things are just going to seed. So probably in the next 1 to 2 weeks, I'll be able to get some nice seeds from this, and then I won't have to have everything work around, and can just remove the marigold itself. So this is a new addition. I forget the name of this flower, but it's an annual and is going to seed. So hopefully it'll start spreading and making this its new home. Just love the colors, and the pollinators love it as well. So yeah, that'll be a nice addition to the raised bed here. And let's see what else on this side. So in cleaning things up, I took out the tomato and the pepper plants that were at the end of the raised bed here. So there was a volunteer tomato plant here that was doing really well, still producing quite a bit of fruit well into fall. I mean, we're approaching winter at this point. So yeah, it had done really well. And so what I had done when taking out the plants was I saved all the fruit, and along with some of the peppers. And so what I'll do is I'll put the fruit under the mulch here, and hopefully next season there will be some volunteer, well, I guess not volunteer because I'm going to be placing the fruit there, but maybe some tomato plants will come up of that same variety. So yeah, that volunteer did really well, and is probably from some combination of the variety that it is, as well as just having a greenhouse, which extends the summer growing season by quite a bit. So what else? Actually have some Brussels sprouts that have popped up. So that's nice to see. Kind of interesting because these are seeds from 2017, so definitely on the older side. Whereas the newer seeds, these are from 2021. Nothing's coming up in those cups. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's been a real hit or miss with the germination rates on the older seeds that I've been using. Okay, the broccoli. Wanted to kind of share a bit about what's going on with the broccoli. Broccoli is a brassica. So other brassicas are cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale, and so brassicas are definitely cold weather vegetables. And the ideal way to have them grow is for the plants to get really established in the cold weather and to grow up to be pretty big before they start going to flower, before what's known as bolting. And all of these broccoli plants you can see have gone to flower. So this is the part that we generally eat. It is the flower of the plants, and you can see that each one of the broccoli have started going to flower. And that's because there was a bit of a warm spell a little while ago. And with brassicas, the reason they are cold weather vegetables is that when the plants are developed enough, so once they've reached a certain kind of level of maturity, if it gets warm, the plants think like, oh, it's going to warm. I got to produce flowers to produce seed to reproduce, that bolting, that going to seed, produces these flowers, and more or less the growth of the plant is over. So these broccoli plants are really not going to grow much more now that there was a bit of a warm spell and they have gone to seed. So these flowers, they're still delicious and whatnot, but ideally we would not have had that warm spell, and so the plants could have grown up a bit more before they start going to flower. So a little unfortunate, but that's all right. The seeds that I had planted in the nursery greenhouse that are coming up pretty well, those broccoli plants were not mature enough to be affected by the heat like that. So with winter coming and the risk of a heat spell really diminishing, I don't expect to have that issue with those that I directly sowed in the other greenhouse. So this one here, I just took off the top flower to promote growth with the other ones that are popping up. But for the most part, there's not going to really be much more by way of flowering that I'm going to get from these plants. So that's okay. Whereas other brassicas, so the kale and the Brussels sprouts, were just as mature as these broccoli. Obviously, went through the same temperature conditions, and they did not bolt at all. So they're going to continue to grow and do all right. On the other side here, I took off the solo cups that were surrounding the spinach. So now you got a nice view of how these plants are developing. So those look really nice. And got the borage that are developing. They're just so colorful and so prolific, and I just love seeing those. So the beginnings of a borage forest that's emerging, and also got a lot of dill that's popping up. So these will develop pretty nicely over the next couple of months. I'll keep things in check a bit just to kind of protect the space of the food that I'm growing. So the beets, the Brussels sprouts, the broccoli. So allow enough space for those to thrive, but allowing kind of a borage and dill forest to develop. So, another thing that I had done was so the Brussels sprouts down here. So they're in their little bamboo prisons, bamboo stick prisons, to help them from falling over in the wind. And the sticks were a bit close together for how large these plants have gotten. So I just spread out the sticks a little bit more, but they're still going to do their job in holding things in place as the wind is going to howl through here, both from that direction from the southwest, as well as coming from the north. The storms come from both directions during the winter. So, um, yeah, something is kind of gnawing at the leaves of the Brussels sprouts, but that's okay. Nothing too catastrophic, at least at this point. But you can definitely see, as leaves are touching the mulch, they are much more prone to getting munched on. And that was part of the rationale for why I used the solo cups when first getting these plants started, to help protect them from touching any of the mulch that would cause them to get eaten when they're at such a young state. Here's the red Russian kale doing well. And in these holes here is where I have planted kale seeds. And I guess in hindsight, thankfully, none of them came up. At least in this part, none of the kale seeds germinated. And yeah, if they had, they actually would be creating a problem because there's really not a whole lot of space between the kale and the Brussels sprouts. So adding another row of plants would actually not have been very productive overall. So that kind of worked out. But then over here, there are some kale seeds that germinated. So that will, we'll need to manage those. I kind of see that popping out there. So who knows? I may actually transplant these so that they actually have more room to thrive themselves and not crowd out the existing plants. So, all right. And then the horseradish that I mentioned earlier. So these three pots are the horseradish that were planted outside the nursery greenhouse, and the one at the end, I should say the fourth horseradish. There's these four pots here. So that one at the end was already there, but these three were moved in. And horseradish is an incredibly aggressive root plant. And so what I had, and these smart pots, they're stronger and do really well, but roots can definitely kind of get through them. So to mitigate the risk of horseradish kind of rooting itself in the ground and then starting to spread like mad, put them in these hard plastic pots. And so hopefully that will mitigate any sort of risk of the horseradish actually rooting in the ground, because then that becomes a whole other issue. If you've ever grown horseradish and try to eradicate it, it is quite the nightmare. Makes getting rid of mint look like child's play. All right. So another thing that I'm really excited about is this area over here. So this is now very much opened up and actually kind of created a really nice hangout spot over here. And this had been just kind of a junk pile. There were lots of pallets. There were bushes coming up, young Douglas firs, water tanks, and so this whole area was cleared out, and we were pretty surprised with how nice it looks now that all that stuff is out of the way. So set up a table and chairs, and this is going to be a great shaded spot during the summer. So you can see this area where the greenhouses are. This gets so much sun. Not early morning because this is on a western facing slope, so the sun rises a bit later. But this area just gets drenched in sun. And so having a nice seating area under the shade of the oak trees is going to be pretty nice. And then just having the view itself is pretty darn remarkable. So yeah, got all of this cleared out. Really excited about that. And a project that got started, and hopefully won't take too much effort, but we'll see. When you start a project, you never know how long it's going to extend. So there's this faucet here and another one on the other side of the nursery greenhouse. And these faucets are pretty awkwardly placed given the position of the three greenhouses, and all the water that feeds into the greenhouses needs to start from these faucets. And so what the idea is that I'm going to put in some additional pipe, dig some trenches, and have faucets directly in the greenhouses. So that way there won't be this awkward lines or hoses going into the greenhouses. Everything's underground. Those will be put in a corner in each of the three greenhouses. So really improve being able to water and irrigate each of the greenhouses. And wrapping things up in the citrus greenhouse here. There's a lot of sunchokes that now call this greenhouse home. So added these smart pots, these black smart pots on this wall. So there's 6 here, and then there's 7 on the against the other wall. And these are now all planted with sunchokes, or Jerusalem artichokes. And some of these came from where I now have horseradish in the tomato greenhouse, and they also came from that spot that I was showing earlier outside of the nursery greenhouse. And so those sunchokes have been dug up and broken apart because they grow kind of like potatoes, if you're familiar with them. And now there's going to be sunchokes in each of these pots. The irrigation lines haven't been fully connected yet, so that's one last piece to do. But this right here is connected into the main drip line there. So that T-junction was put in, and something similar was done on the other wall. And now it'll be pretty nice to leverage this much more space for growing in the greenhouses. So the whole thing that kind of, as I mentioned earlier, that kind of kicked off this week of activity. There were fans hanging from from the frame up there, and I just knew that those needed to come down. And once those came down, it's like, oh well, hey, let's do this. Let's fix the lighting. Let's take down the T-posts. Let's do this and this and this. And before we knew it, the week had passed, and we had accomplished a whole lot to really improve this space and make it more productive, as well as just visually appealing, and with the space back there, a whole area to be able to hang out and take a nice break, or just sit and take in the view. So really happy with the progress that we made this past week, and looking forward to now really being able to grow quite a bit more food in the greenhouses because of all the new space with the smart pots, as well as cleaning up the raised beds that were pretty pretty impacted by my battle with the perennials. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the update of what's been going on around the greenhouses. Pretty darn exciting. It's nice to be able to get work done in the greenhouses while it's sunny, while it's not early morning. When it only gets to highs in the 50s, it's tolerable in the greenhouses, even on a sunny day close to noon. After I turned off the camera, finishing up the tour, I did some work of pruning the orange trees and deadheading some of the zinnias. And it's approaching noon, and I was in there comfortably with a flannel beanie on and whatnot, and it didn't get too warm. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Take it easy and take care.